PFL Week 6, 2022, full card prediction and confident picks. Confident picks will be at the end of the video, but I'm going to say it right now. It is the damn PFL. I've looked at plenty of weeks in the past. It seems like there should be such a clear winner in the fight. They're a better striker. They're way bigger. They're a way better, taller, lengthier opponent. And they've got amazing takedown defense. And then they get absolutely dominated in the fight. It's the PFL. You never know what could happen. I mean, Kayla Harrison could go out there and get knocked out in the first round. That's the PFL for you. So I'm going to do the predictions. I'm going to do the confident picks video. But just know, if you wager money on a PFL card, you're assuming a lot of damn risk because it's the damn PFL. So we got Harrison in the main event, Rory McDonald, Sadie Boy C, and then the welterweights and lightweights that we all know and maybe don't love. But this is the card. We're going to do a full card prediction leading off with the first one here. In the PFL lightweight division, Alina Kolesnik and Vanessa Mello in the PFL lightweight division. Now, they both kind of suck, like a lot. Alina Kolesnik was on a, 4-fight losing streak to Pam Sorensen, Felicia Spencer, Taylor Guardado, and then Larissa Pacheco. I mean, she just could not get a break in all of those fights. Before that, finisher. A lot of finishes over and over again. And then she got a lucky split decision on Abigail Montez. Now she's fighting Vanessa Mello, who, I kid you not, has like a 1-7 record in the UFC. Something absolutely dog schnikes. I mean, 1-3 right there. She's absolute garbage. She's 0-1 in the PFL. Her striking is some of the slowest I've ever seen in my life. She's 4 inches smaller than Alina Kolesnik. She's 4 inches less in terms of reach than Alina Kolesnik. She doesn't really have any wrestling or grappling to fall back on to beat Alina Kolesnik. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it's a very easy prediction to make that Alina Kolesnik is going to go out there and just outstrike Vanessa Mello for 3 rounds and win a unanimous decision. But like I said at the beginning of this video, it's the damn PFL. For all we know, Vanessa Mello has been training just wrestling, just jiu-jitsu for the past 2 months since her loss in her PFL debut. I don't know. That's the PFL. She could go out here and have absolutely amazing wrestling and grappling. That would be the only way that she would win the fight. Because the way that she's going to win fights is going to be on the ground against Alina Kolesnik, because there's no chance she's going to outstrike Alina Kolesnik. So from what I have on Vanessa Mello, what I have on Alina Kolesnik, there's really not much of an opportunity for Vanessa Mello to win unless she made some crazy-ass improvements on her layoff, which I highly doubt. It's been a month. Nothing's really happened. So, Alina Kolesnik by a very nice 30-27 unanimous decision. Martina Gindrova and Zamzagul Zelanova. Just trust me, it took me a long time to get that name correctly. In the women's lightweight division, 31 and 30 years old. Pretty similar height, pretty similar reach, with just an inch in an advantage for Martina Gindrova. Now, advantages, disadvantages. Martina has the striking advantage. She's taller, she's lengthier, she throws a little bit more volume than Zamzagul Zelanova. She's a little bit more technical. But Zamzagul has the power advantage, and that is why Martina's not going to be a girl that I'm like, yo, for sure, she can just go out there, outstrike Zamzagul. I mean, Zamzagul just got knocked out in her last fight by Larissa Pacheco. Should be an easy prediction. Not necessarily the case, because Zamzagul Zelanova is a finisher. She goes out there and she puts it all on the line, throwing bombs on the feet, looking for the judo throws, the takedowns, and things like that, and she's looking for the finish. So, with all of this in mind, I do think the most likely scenario is going to be a Martina Gindrova unanimous decision outstriking Zamzagul for 3 rounds on the feet. I do think there's a live chance of either Zamzagul Zelanova finding a way to take the fight down. I mean, women's MMA is notorious for having a lot of those over the head throws onto the ground, the trip takedowns and things like that. And then if Zamzagul can get the fight to the ground, she's got decent control there. Not legit control, but she's got a path to victory on the ground. So it's not like a super confident girl in Martina Gindrova, because Zamzagul, I mean, she goes wild on the feet. She's not the best striker, but if she can connect, she could get the knockout, she could get the takedown, she could win that way. I doubt it's going to happen. It's freaking a Zamzagul Zelanova fight. it'll be a weird one. I mean, it's an unexpected type of fight. Unpredictable type of fight, but most likely Martina's just the much better striker. She should keep the fight on the feet for 3 rounds and win the fight by a unanimous decision. Marina Makhnatkina and Abby Montez in the lightweight division, 22 years old and 34 years old. Same height, and then the reach is just right even right there. Now, Marina Makhnatkina is a solid opponent. She's a very, very solid opponent. She's got very good wrestling, very good grappling and things like that. The fight she was able to actually lose, Janae Harding, Liana Jojua, Kayla Harrison, the champion, and then some UFC fighters and things like that. Marina Makhnatkina is actually a pretty legit fighter in my opinion, and I do think if she went over to the UFC or something like that, she would be a decently high up ranked UFC featherweight fighter, even though there's no rankings in the UFC featherweight division. You get what I mean. But Abigail Montez, she's very unexperienced. She got a weird fight with Claressa Shields just to kind of give Claressa a little bit of a way to win in her PFL fights over there. I mean, they're just trying to get Claressa Shields a win. They thought maybe Abigail Montez would be the perfect one, not being able to take her down and things like that. But she was able to land some takedowns. Not going to be the case here. Marina Makhnatkina is a much better wrestler, much better grappler. Abigail Montez, she lost her last fight to Olena Kolesnik due to the striking. She has not faced any legit grapplers. I mean, Claudia Zamora, Tarita, De Jesus Lopez. I mean, none of these girls that she's ever fought have any real grappling or wrestling. Marina Makhnatkina is not like a super high-level wrestler or grappler, but she didn't get finished by Kayla Harrison. She was able to defend a lot of that type of stuff, defend the submissions, like stay away from the ground upon a Kayla Harrison. I don't think it's going to be dominant. I think we're going to see another close 29-28 decision here. Montez is going to do everything she can in her power on the feet to try to make up that gap of striking. Just whenever she gets taken down, she's going to be looking for ground and pound on bottom, looking to get back up on the feet, lane volume, and hope to edge it out on the judges' scorecard. So this is one of the closer fights in the card, in my opinion. More of a coin flip. Just what are the judges going to value? Are they going to value the Marina Makhnatkina wrestling takedown, a little bit of submission attempts and things like that, or are they going to value Abby maybe landing some ground and pound on bottom and then maybe landing the harder shots in the feet? It really is subjective to what the judges are going to think, but the reason I have to go Marina Makhnatkina is because that striking edge really is not that much in favor of Abby Montez. It is pretty even in the stand-up game for Marina and Abby Montez, so if it's even in one part of the game, which it should relatively be in terms of striking, kickboxing, Muay Thai, clinch, all that good stuff. If it's even there, and then we have one part where there's an advantage in the grappling and wrestling, Marina will use that. The judges will see how even it is in the striking, go to the wrestling, see Marina has the advantage, give her the win on the judges' scorecards. But it is one of the closest fights I have on the card. Not a confident one, but I got Marina Makhnatkina winning this fight by a decision right there. Nicole Alexakin and Carlos Lial in the welterweight division, 28 and 31 years old. A little bit of an advantage in height for Carlos Lial, but a little bit of an advantage in reach for Nicole Alexakin. Now, the betting odds are obviously wrong right here. They have Nicole as a 2-1 favorite. The odds are actually flipped in terms of Carlos Lial is the 2-1 favorite. And the reason being, if y'all remember the last time he went out there inside the PFL, ruined a lot of people's parlays. I personally did no bet for this fight. It was just too risky, especially because Ray Cooper missed weight, and because Ray really didn't have any incentive to win the fight because, I mean, he missed weight. He's not going to get any points. But it was a good fight for all it was. It was good striking. Carlos Lial put on the pressure, landing some amazing combinations in that fight. I mean, before that, beat Chris Brown, who I think is UFC caliber, knocked out Corey Cup in the first round. I mean, the man has power, and I do think he has more of a finishing ability than Nicole Alexakin. Nicole's more of a kicker, a Muay Thai, kickboxing type of guy, but he does have finishes here and there, 10 knockouts on his record. But overall, it's just, like, his wrestling, grappling, I don't think too much of that's going to happen in this fight. I mean, maybe if like, one guy is tired, we can see a takedown attempt from the other just to maybe secure the round on the judges. The striking is very, very even. Maybe see a takedown, but For the most part, Carlos Lial, Alexakin fight, I would assume to be more of a 3-round striking war, fight of the night type of thing. I mean, I have high expectations for this fight. I'm going to watch this one live, and I'm going to enjoy every second of it because it's going to be an absolute banger. And again, it's really kicking or punching. What are the judges going to kind of say matters more? Is the punches, the pressure, the volume of Carlos Lial laying in the bigger shots in the feet, or is it going to be Alexakin laying in the kicks, the body kicks and things like that at range, jabbing a 1-2 using the clinch game and things like that? So it's a close one. It's another one of those, I think, is another, flip a coin that the winner is going to be decided like that, kind of like the last one in Marina Makhnatkina and Abigail Montez. This is the same thing. Carlos is coming in on short notice. I don't know how his cardio is going to look like coming in on short notice, and if Carlos isn't able to put on the pressure, isn't able to close that distance enough to land enough meaningful combinations on the chin of Nikolai Alexakin, and Nikolai is able to have the kicking game at range, able to use the clinching very, very well, this is a live play for an underdog right here. So it's a coin flip for me. I'm gonna go Nikolai Alexakin. I was originally gonna lean Carlos Lial to win this fight, because he does have a lot to win in terms of this fight right here. He's beat Ray Cooper III right there. He's probably looking to get in the playoffs. So again, I've been switching in my predictions so many times. I just like a second ago said Nikolai Alexakin because it is literally that close of a fight. Could honestly go either way. Official prediction: we're going to go Carlos Lial. I think he knows he needs this win to get into the playoffs and potentially win that $1 million this year. Nikolai, I don't think he even has a chance to win that $1 million unless he goes out there and gets a crazy finish on Carlos Lial. So originally, if there weren't the PFL stakes and things like that, honestly, it probably could go Nikolai Alexakin, but there's a lot more to win for Carlos Lial. Nikolai needs a finish, which is going to put him into harm's way. Think about it. If you are a guy that's coming off a loss in the PFL, the only way you get a shot to win $1 million is if you go out there and knock out your opponent, submit your opponent. You're probably going to go out there and make some mistakes because you're going to be coming forward to be looking to land that knockout blow, look to get the finish and get your shot for the $1 million. So again, it's a close fight, very technical. We're going to see some really good back and forth striking from these guys, but I think Nikolai having the factor of he needs a finish is going to leave him vulnerable for some shots of Carlos Lial. So again, it's a back and forth one. It's going to be a 29-28 decision. Either way, I can't wait. Fight of the night incoming. I'm going to go Carlos Lial by a decision. Jarrah Hussein Al-Silawi and Magomedkerimov in the welterweight division. Now, maybe a year ago, I would say this is a coin flip fight. Maybe a year ago, I'd be like, Jarrah Hussein Al-Silawi, this dude has knocked out some great grapplers, some really good wrestlers. Carlson Harris, who was in the UFC, fought Shavkat Rakhmonov, knocked out Ismail Nordiev. He beat Gleison Tibau. You look at the record and guys that Jarrah has beaten in his career, you would assume that he'd be able to beat a guy like Magomedkerimov. He's beaten some legit competition in the past. But the most recent fight, with Gleison Tibau has me just completely flipped on Jarrah Hussein Al-Silawi. Because before the fight with Gleison Tibau, I was thinking of this guy as, sure, this dude is going to win the $1 million this year. There's no chance. There's no way in heck that he's not going to win. He's an amazing striker, really good power, a super solid takedown defense. But then we saw the damn Gleison Tibau fight, and his takedown defense was exposed. And he does have amazing striking. He's very good on the feet, really good kicks, really good knees. But he's going against a tall, lengthy wrestler right here. This is one of the tallest, lengthiest Dagestani wrestler type of guy you're really ever going to see. And that makes it a very tough match for Jarrah. Because Jarrah, at this point, given the height and reach disadvantage against Magomedkerimov, he's going to have to close a lot more distance to land the strikes on Magomedkerimov, who himself is not even that bad of a striker. Went out there, knocked out Kyron Bowen in that fight. Used a lot of wrestling in the last fight, but Not a bad striker either. So I see Jarrah slightly having an edge on the feet, looking to close that distance. Magomed looking for the counters, and eventually, like Gleison Tibau was able to either get Jarrah's back to the cage, land the takedowns, or as Jarrah's coming in to land a shot, Magomed times it perfectly like he did plenty of times in his last 2 PFL fights. I think it's a very simple prediction, but again, it's PFL. Magomedkerimov has never faced a striker like Jarrah Hussein Al-Silawi. Magomed hasn't faced a guy with the power of Jarrah Hussein Al-Silawi. So I have Magomedkerimov winning, but there is a definite path to victory for Jarrah in terms of a knockout. He's got really good knees, really good kicks. If Magomed is not worrying, if he's not patient, if he's not perfectly precise with the entries on the takedown, he could eat a knee right to the face, get knocked out cold. Don't think it happens. It's possible, though. Magomedkerimov by a unanimous decision. Larissa Pacheco and Gina Fabian in the lightweight division. Now, height, reach, size, all of that go in Gina Fabian. I mean, it is insane how big of a fighter that Gina Fabian truly is. 6 foot tall, 74-inch reach right there. She is freaking huge, and she is a very good kickboxer. I mean, her striking is very, very solid, knocking out pretty much every single opponent that she's faced, except for Laura Sanchez and then Julia Budd in her last fight. Only loss to date has been a Bobby Joe Desniel, however you say that, a very long time ago. And then Kayla Harrison, who was able to take the fight down and ground pound her to a TKO. Now, you would think Kayla Harrison's able to go out there, take her down, land the ground pound, TKO her. You would think maybe Larissa Pacheco, also being a really good wrestler, really good grappler, really good power in her hands as well, would be able to land the knockout here, take the fight down, and TKO Gina Fabian in the fight. Very, very possible. That's not what I'm thinking here. That is not what I'm thinking. Gina Fabian has had a full training camp to prepare for the Kayla Harrison fight. She had a full training camp to prepare for Julia Budd. 2 girls in a row that are going out there to try to take her down, to try to wrestle, to try to grapple. She's going against another one of them here in Larissa Pacheco, another one that is trying to wrestle, that is trying to grapple. I mean, the amount of times Gina Fabian has gone out there with a training camp specifically measured and trying to go for defending the takedowns and things like that, I still think she loses. I mean, I still think Larissa Pacheco goes out there, takes the fight down, and wins it on the ground. But Gina Fabian, I don't think she's going to get finished in the fight. I mean, when I first saw it, you're thinking Larissa, so many finishes on her record. Gina, her most recent loss with the ground and pound TKO. She's been training so many times for wrestlers and grapplers. I think she will get taken down, but it'll be later on in the fight. We'll spend a few minutes on the feet every single round. She'll look good. It'll be like, oh my God, upset. Gina Fabian's about to make the upset. And then Larissa will land the takedown. So it's a good fight. I think Larissa has the power advantage on the feet. I think she has the wrestling. I think she has the grappling. But again, Gina's still a live dog. Gina is still definitely a live dog. Because if for some reason Larissa Pacheco isn't able to defend the takedowns, like I'm saying, Gina, her training camps defending the takedowns is just so good that her takedown defense is just really, really good in the fight. She's live. She's live. We saw what she did against Julia Budd. Was able to defend the takedown, tire out her opponent, and just outstrike him on the feet. That could very, very well happen here. So it's a close one. It's not necessarily like a 50-50. I'm just, leaning towards Larissa Pacheco here to win the fight. Grappling, wrestling, landing some big shots on the feet, winning by unanimous decision. Magomedkerimov and Joao Zeferino in the welterweight division. You should already know what I'm going to say. Magomed is taller by like 4 inches. He's lengthier by like 4 inches. He's younger by about 4 years. He actually has more experience than Joao Zeferino. Actually, he might not. It might be the exact same amount of experience. But he's got a lot of advantages over Joao Zeferino. I'm going to be honest. He's got the striking advantage over Joao Zeferino. He throws a little bit more volume, is a little bit more powerful than Joao Zeferino. So he's the better striker. He's taller. He's lengthier. He's younger. Honestly, he's the better wrestler. Jiu-jitsu. Maybe Joao has a chance there. But again, Magomed is better almost everywhere this fight goes. Like, literally everywhere I've looked at the fight, every case in point I've looked at film on Joao Zeferino, everything I've seen from Joao, I've seen better from Magomedkerimov right here. So, the only way I can see Joao winning this one is like a late knockout, something like that. I mean, if Magomed gets tired or something like that, and Joao just comes forward, puts on really, really big pressure, something like that, just overwhelms Magomedkerimov, maybe he can click the chin of Magomed, catch him like he did last year against Ray Cooper III. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. He's not that powerful guy like Ray Cooper III, and it took a while for Ray Cooper III to do so. So, I was originally thinking, probably a decision here. I would think, yeah, like, he's probably just going to go out there, dominate Joao Zeferino on the ground, 3 rounds, win a nice decision. But Magomed needs a damn finish. Magomed needs a finisher. And the thing with the PFL is some fights that you think for sure should be decisions, some fights you think for sure should be finish, like a lot of the heavyweight fights last week, they're not, because of the simple PFL format that is you need a finish if you're down in the rankings, or you don't need a finish. So this one, both guys need a finish, so they're going to go for the finish. So I'm going to say Magomedkerimov gets the finish. I think he gets the fight down, lands that ground and pound, sinks in a guillotine, rear naked, something like that. He's got a very good guillotine. I think he gets something on the ground. Magomedkerimov by unanimous decision. Ray Cooper III versus Brett Cooper. They are brothers. If you did not know that, they are step brothers. I'm joking, but yeah, 29 years old for Ray Cooper III. He's smaller. He's less lengthy. He's younger. He's more powerful. He's a better wrestler. Yeah, setup fight for the PFL is all I really gotta say here. Brett Cooper the third. I'm just kidding. Brett Cooper right here. He's got good power in his hands. Knocked out Tyler Hill in his first fight in the PFL. Then this year got submitted easily by Rory McDonald. But he's a finish or get finished guy. 18 knockout wins in his record. 2 submissions, 7 decisions out of the losses. 6 by knockout, 4 by submission, and 6 by decision right there. PFL, they know what they're doing. They want Ray Cooper III to enter the playoff rankings. They know he lost his last fight to Carlos Lial III, and they know the only way they're going to get their former champion into the PFL playoffs is, get a damn finish. Brett Cooper's not the best guy. I mean, he's been finished so many times. I mean, whether it's on the ground, if Ray Cooper takes him down and starts ground and pounding him, whether it's on the feet where Ray closes the distance, lands a bomb, and knocks him out, whether it's on the ground where he gets the back of Brett Cooper, I don't care. Ray Cooper III by knockout in the first or second rounds. Rory McDonald and Sadibou Bouassi in the welterweight division. Now, we already know the game plan of both guys. Sadibou Bouassi, taller, lengthier, better kicker, better striker. I mean, you could kind of say that. I mean, I don't know how Rory would really have the striking advantage. I mean, he might have like a power advantage on the feet, might have the clinching advantage if he's able to close the distance. Possibly he could have the striking advantage, but you get what I mean. If Sadibou can keep the fight at range, he can just outpoint him on the feet and win a decision. That is the game plan of Sadibou Bouassi, but we know the game plan of Rory McDonald. We saw it on the last fight with Brett Cooper, taking the fight down, getting the submission. We saw it with Curtis Melender. We know the game plan. I mean, Sadibou Bouassi needs to go out there. He needs to win this fight to get into the PFL playoffs. Rory doesn't really need to. And for those reasons, I don't think Rory's going to get a finish. I think it's going to be a close 29-28 decision. It'll go all the way. Sadie Boy will make it interesting. He'll win one of those rounds by using solid takedown defense and kickboxing Rory McDonald. This is probably one of the most live, heavy underdogs on the card. Like, if you go to the betting odds, Magomedkerimov's a huge favorite. Larissa's a huge favorite. Who else? Maybe Martina Gindrova and Kayla Harrison. Out of all of those heavy favorites, Sadibou Bouassi is probably the one guy that I think has like a very, very good chance of beating Rory McDonald, because his takedown defense isn't necessarily the best, but he didn't get submitted by Magomedkerimov. He didn't get like necessarily absolutely clobbered and dominated by Magomedkerimov. He actually was doing pretty good in keeping the fight on the feet. So, I'm going to take a flyer here. I'm going to take a flyer here. I usually don't like to pick underdogs just because of that, but I think it's such a close fight. Rory just doesn't really need a win here. He doesn't really need to have that motivation to go out there, get a finish, grind the fight on the ground. So, y'all might roast me in the comments, but I'm going to go an underdog here. I'm going to go Sadibou Bouassi, outstriking Rory McDonald on the feet. I'm going to go Sadibou Bouassi by decision right there. Good fight in the welterweight division. Kayla Harrison and Caitlin Young in the lightweight division. Prediction, Kayla Harrison by submission, round 1, round 2. Good prediction. All right, that's the last fight in the lightweight division right there. All right, that is the PFL 6 2022 regular season full card prediction. We got Kayla Harrison. I mean, there's not really much that needs to be said. She's fighting a losing record fighter right here. She's 13-0. She's a better wrestler, better grappler. Come on. Let's move on. I got Sadie Boy C outstriking, defending most of the takedowns, winning super close 29-28 decision. I got Ray Cooper just throwing some bombs, catching the chin of Brett Cooper. Magomed taking the fight down because he needs a finish. I think he will get that finish. Larissa Pacheco taking the fight down. She doesn't need the finish, so I think she'll get a decision. Magomedkerimov getting another decision win, out wrestling, out grappling Jarrah for 3 straight rounds. Good win right there. Carlos Lial making it a war, making it a banger fight in the welterweight division, just closing that distance, landing the harder shots, winning a close 29-28 decision. Marina wrestling Abby Montez, winning by unanimous decision. Martina defending takedowns, outstriking, landing more volume, more technical strikes, the more powerful strikes, and winning a unanimous decision. Alina just point fighting for 3 rounds, unanimous decision. That is the PFL 6 2022 regular season full card prediction. And now for confident picks. Number 1, Kayla Harrison. We're going to have her at 90% confidence. I mean, does Caitlin Young have any finishes on her record? A leg kick knockout win, a 3rd round knockout win right there. You know what? Let's just... I don't like doing this because usually... I mean, I don't like to say there's such thing as a lock in MMA, but this is about as close as you're going to get to it. So, Kayla Harrison... 99% confident. You all know why. Sadie Boy C in the co-main event. I do have him as one of my underdogs of the card. And I'm gonna go, 51-52%. Just a slight lean. I'm not confident. I'm not super confident. It's just I'm barely leaning the underdog in that case. Ray Cooper will go 75%. He did not look good in his last fight. Brett Cooper is a finisher as well. There's a possibility Brett just goes crazy in this fight, just starts throwing and maybe catches the chin of Ray, as Ray has been hit a lot recently. Knocked out. I'm just kidding. He didn't get knocked out, but he's been hit a lot in the last fight with Carlos Lial. So maybe the chin is compromised. I don't know. 75% on Ray Cooper. Magomedkerimov will have him at about an 80% clip right there. I think he's just better everywhere in that fight. Gina Fabian, Larissa Pacheco will have Larissa Pacheco at about 66%. Magomedkerimov, 66% as well. Fairly confident on him. Carlos Lial, 51-52%. Just a barely slight lean. Marina Makhnatkina, 66%. Around that. Larissa Pacheco, Magomedkerimov range. Martina Gindrova, also 66%. And Olena Kolesnik will put it a little bit more confident at 70% confidence. So, number 1 most confident is Kayla Harrison. Number 2 is Magomedkerimov. Number 3, Olena Kolesnik. Number 4 is a big old tie of Magomedkerimov, Martina Gindrova, Marina Makhnatkina, Larissa Pacheco, and that is about it. After that would be Ray Cooper the 3rd, and then probably after that, because we have Carlos Lial and Sadie Boy C left, we'll go Carlos Lial, and then my least confident of the card gotta be Sadie Boy C at that point. But those are the confident picks. Those are the full card predictions. Make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Let's go.